Selections from Lao-tzu, Daode-jing. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth, while naming is the origin of the myriad things. Therefore, always desireless, you see the mystery. Ever desiring, you see the manifestations. These two are the same. When they appear, they are named differently. Their sameness is the mystery, mystery within mystery, the door to all marvels. If you do not adulate the worthy, you will make others non-contentious. If you do not value rare treasures, you will stop others from stealing. If people do not see desirables, they will not be agitated. Therefore, when the sage governs, he clears people's minds, fills their bellies, weakens their ambition, and strengthens their bones. If the people are kept without cleverness and desire, it will make the intellectuals not dare to meddle. Acting without contrivance, there is no lack of manageability. Heaven and earth are not humane, and regard the people as stray dogs. The sage is not humane, and regards all things as stray dogs. The space between heaven and earth is just like a bellows. Empty it, it is not exhausted. Squeeze it, and more comes out. Investigating it with a lot of talk is not like holding to the center. 30 spokes joined together in the hub. It is because of what is not there that the cart is useful. Clay is formed into a vessel. It is because of its emptiness that the vessel is useful. Cut doors and windows to make a room. It is because of its emptiness that the room is useful. Therefore, what is present is used for profit, but it is in absence that there is usefulness. When the great Tao perishes, there is humaneness and justice. When intelligence is manifest, there is great deception. When the 6 relationships are not in harmony, there is filial piety and compassion. When the country is in chaos, loyal ministers appear. Get rid of holiness and abandon wisdom, and the people will benefit 100-fold. Get rid of reciprocity and abandon justice, and the people will return to filial piety and compassion. Get rid of cleverness and abandon profit, and thieves and gangsters will not exist. Get rid of learning, and there will be no anxiety. How much difference is there between yes and no? How far removed from each other are good and evil, yet what the people are in awe of cannot be disregarded. There is something that is perfect in its disorder, which is born before heaven and earth. So silent and desolate, it establishes itself without renewal, functions universally without lapse. We can regard it as the mother of everything. I do not know its name, hence, when forced to name it, I call it Tao. When forced to categorize it, I call it great. Human beings follow the earth. Earth follows heaven, heaven follows the Tao follows the way things are. If you want to grab the world and run it, I can see that you will not succeed. The world is a spiritual vessel which cannot be controlled. Manipulators mess things up, grabbers lose it. Therefore, sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. Sometimes you are stifled, sometimes you breathe easy. Sometimes you are strong, sometimes you are weak. Sometimes you destroy, and sometimes you are destroyed. Hence, the sage shuns excess, shuns grandiosity, shuns arrogance. Accomplish, but do not boast. Accomplish without show, accomplish without arrogance, accomplish without grabbing, accomplish without forcing. When things flourish, they decline. Victory is never sweet. Those for whom victory is sweet are those who enjoy killing. If you enjoy killing, you cannot gain the trust of the people. On auspicious occasions, the place of honor is on the left. On inauspicious occasions, the place of honor is on the right. The lieutenant commander stands on the left, the commander-in-chief stands on the right, and they speak, using the funerary rites to bury them. The common people, for whom all the dead have come, weep in lamentation. The victors bury them with funerary rites. That which will be shrunk must first be stretched. That which will be weakened must first be strengthened. That which will be torn up must first be raised up. That which will be taken must first be given. The gentle and soft overcomes the hard and aggressive. A fish cannot leave the water. The country's potent weapons should not be shown to its people. The Tao is always not doing, yet there is nothing it doesn't do. If the ruler is able to embody it, everything will naturally change. Being changed, they desire to act, so I must restrain them using the nameless uncarved block. Using the nameless uncarved block, they become desireless. Desireless, they are tranquil, and all under heaven is naturally settled. True virtue is not virtuous, therefore it has virtue. Superficial virtue never fails to be virtuous, therefore it has no virtue. True virtue does not act, and has no intentions. Superficial virtue acts and has intentions. True humaneness acts but has no intentions. True justice acts but has intentions. True property acts, and if you don't respond, they will roll up their sleeves and threaten you. Thus, when the Tao is lost, there is virtue. When virtue is lost, there is humaneness. When humaneness is lost, there is justice. And when justice is lost, there is property. Now, property is the external appearance of loyalty and sincerity, and the beginning of disorder. The softest thing in the world will overcome the hardest. Non-being can enter where there is no space. Therefore, I know the benefit of actionless action. The wordless teaching and actionless action are rarely seen. When the Tao prevails in the land, the horses leisurely graze and fertilize the ground. When the Tao is lacking in the land, war horses are bred outside the city. Natural disasters are not as bad as not knowing what is enough. Loss is not as bad as wanting more. Therefore, the sufficiency that comes from knowing what is enough is an eternal sufficiency. In studying each day something is gained. In following the Tao each day something is lost. Lost and again lost until there is nothing left to do. Not doing, nothing is left undone. You can possess the world by never manipulating it. No matter how much you manipulate, you can never possess the world. If I had just a little bit of wisdom, I should walk the great path and fear not straying from it. Walk through the way is quite broad. People love shortcuts. The court is immaculate. When the fields are overgrown with weeds and the granaries are empty, they wear silk finery, carry sharp swords, sate themselves on food and drink, having wealth in excess. They are called thieving braggarts. This is definitely not the way. The more regulations there are, the poorer people become. The more people own lethal weapons, the more darkened are the country and clans. The more clever the people are, the more extraordinary actions they take. The more picky the laws are, the more thieves and gangsters there are. Therefore, the sages say, I do not force my way and the people transform themselves. I enjoy my serenity and the people correct themselves. I do not interfere and the people enrich themselves. I have no desires and the people find their original mind. When the government is laid back, the people are relaxed. When the government is nitpicking, the people have anxiety. Misfortune depends on fortune. Fortune conceals misfortune. What has a definite demolition or abnormality? The normal reverts to strangeness, goodness reverts to reversion. People certainly have been confused for a long time, therefore the sage squares things without cutting. Edges without separating, straightens without lining up, shines but does not glare. Do without doing, get involved without manipulating, taste without tasting, make the great small, the many few. Respond to anger with virtue. Deal with difficulties while they are still easy. Handle the great while it is still small. The difficult problems in life always start off being simple. Great affairs always start off being small. Therefore, the sage never deals with the great, and is able to actualize his greatness. Now the light words generate little belief, much ease turns into much difficulty. Therefore, the sage treats things as though they were difficult, and hence, never has difficulty. The ancients who were skilled at the Tao did not illuminate the people, but rather kept them simple. When the people are difficult to rule, it is because of their cleverness. Therefore, if you use cleverness to rule the state, you are a robber of the state. If you don't use cleverness to rule the state, you are a blessing to the state. The reason the river and sea can be regarded as the rulers of all the valley streams is because of their being below them. Therefore, they can be their rulers. So, if you want to be over people, you must speak humbly to them. If you want to lead them, you must place yourself behind them. Thus, the sage is positioned above, and the people do not feel oppressed. He is in front, and they feel nothing wrong. Therefore, they like to push him in front and never resent him. Since he does not contend, no one can contend with him. My words are easy to understand and easy to practice, yet nobody understands them or practices them. My words have an origin, my actions have a principle. It is only because of your not understanding this that you do not understand me. Since there are few who understand me, I am valued. Therefore the sage wears coarse clothes, yet hides a jewel in his bosom. There is nothing better than to know that you don't know. Not knowing yet thinking you know, this is sickness. Only when you are sick of being sick can you be cured. The sage is not being sick is because he is sick of sickness, therefore he is not sick. If you are courageous in daring, you will die. If you are courageous in not daring, you will live. Among these two, one is beneficial and the other is harmful. Who understands the reason why heaven dislikes what it dislikes? Even the sage has difficulty in knowing this. The way of heaven is to win easily without struggle, to respond well without words, to naturally come without special invitation, to plan well without anxiety. Heaven's net is vast, it is loose, yet nothing slips through. If people don't fear death, how will you scare them with death? If you make the people continuously fear death by seizing anybody who does something out of the ordinary and killing them, who will dare to move? There is always an official executioner to handle this. If you play the role of the official executioner, it is like cutting wood in the capacity of master carpenter. There are few who will not cut their hands. The reason people starve is because their rulers tax them excessively. They are difficult to govern because their rulers have their own ends in mind. The reason people take death lightly is because they want life to be rich. Therefore, they take death lightly. It is only by not living for your own ends that you can go beyond valuing life. When people are born, they are gentle and soft. At death, they are hard and stiff. When plants are alive, they are soft and delicate. When they die, they wither and dry up. Therefore, the hard and stiff are followers of death. The gentle and soft are the followers of life. Thus, if you are aggressive and stiff, you won't win. When a tree is hard enough, it is cut. Therefore, the hard and big are lesser, the gentle and soft are greater. Nothing in the world is softer than water, yet nothing is better at overcoming the hard and strong. This is because nothing can alter it. That the soft overcomes the hard and the gentle overcomes the aggressive is something that everybody knows, but none can do themselves. Therefore, the sages say, the one who accepts the dirt of the state becomes its master. The one who accepts its calamity becomes king of the world. Truth seems contradictory. Let there be a small country with few people, who, even having much machinery, don't use it, who take death seriously and don't wander far away. Even though they have boats and carriages, they never ride in them. Having armor and weapons, they never go to war. Let them return to measurement by tying knots in rope. Sweeten their food, give them nice clothes, a peaceful abode, and a relaxed life. Even though the next country can be seen, and its dogs and chickens can be heard, the people will grow old and die without visiting each other's land. True words are not fancy. Fancy words are not true. The good do not debate. Debaters are not good. The one who really knows is not broadly learned. The extensively learned do not really know.